paradigm shift is about to occur. The real name of the deliverer is about to cover the earth. You're going to have to make some oversized car magnets. Hi friends, this is Lou White, and on your left is Dan Lukendro. Hi Dan.
Hi Lou, how you doing today?
We're fine. So
That's
today
good.
we're going to have a short video on the topic of the conspiracy. What do you imagine the people think about the conspiracy? They don't even know it exists, do they?
Oh, I don't think they really do.
I felt like we needed to talk about this conspiracy to hide his name. There was a 400-year gap between Malachi and the coming of Mashiach. And some very interesting things were brought out by that prophet. He is speaking about the name being spoken of by his people, and he listened to them speaking about his name. And he listened, and he made a special scroll containing their names. So there's something going on. All the prophets seem to mention this conspiracy about hiding his name and blaspheming his name and so on.
Well, there's a great amount of power in his name. I mean, there were demons that were cast out in the name, and just a lot of things like that. And for the dragon to keep in his position of power, he has to suppress that somehow. And if the people know who to really call on, if they know the true name, then the dragon really loses his authority over them. And that's bad for him.
That's exactly right. We're his bride. If we know his name, he's going to let us in to the New Jerusalem. You know, he's going to gather us. And he said that in Psalm 91, isn't it? That he talks about we wouldn't dash our foot against the stone on the day of Yahuah, because the things that are happening around us, 1,000 are falling at our side and 10,000 at our right hand, but it does not come near you. And we won't even stub our toe because we know his name. That gives me chills.
Yeah, and it also says that his name is a strong tower.
I love it. And we love his name. Why would we not? And what is this bull that the Pope came out with in 2008 to forbid anyone worshiping or singing or praying in the name? They want to use Dominus or Lord or Adonai, and they even make reference to that. And that's what I brought in that King James Version episode that I created that is on YouTube, and the article too. The name has been concealed. What happened at Mount Karmel when AliYahu, they call it Elijah, what was the issue?
Well, the issue was over the name.
Exactly. They were calling on BAAL, which means Lord. And
how many people today reading their King James or their NIVs or whatever translations they have actually pick up on that? They really don't pick up on it because of the mistranslation, the obfuscation or omission of his name. It's just not there. So they really just read over that, and it doesn't sink in.
Yeah, the teachers.
And of course, the teachers aren't really saying anything about that because I don't think they know either.
Well, it would destroy their theological position. They're given permission by some man or some group of men or a denominational leader that gives them the permission to teach for them, and their teaching authority is going to fire them, basically. We have only one teaching authority, and his name is Yahushua. And if you Google it, this is I'm holding up a large magnet that you put on the side of your car or truck. It says Google Yahushua. I've got one on the back of my truck.
Oh, okay.
And I put it at an angle, like, Balak.
Well, makes people look at it more if it's not perfectly straight.
Oh,
Their eye.
Yeah, they go, what? And they want to fix it. But his name is very important. What is his name, as far as your understanding of it? What does the name Yahusha mean?
Well, to my understanding, it's Yah is our deliverer.
Yah. Yah is our deliverer. And if you translate Yah, you've got I am your deliverer. See, the Yah and the U makes it plural possessive. Remember? Yahu. And then the Shah at the very end is short for Yasha, which means deliverer, deliverance, help, rescue, save. And they don't even realize they're speaking Hebrew.
No, they don't.
But it's an amazing thing that there's this conspiracy. There was a prophet, another prophet, that talked about the fire that was shut up in his bones. He said the name, he was talking about the name Yirmiyahu or Jeremiah 20, verse 9, says that your name, he was talking about his name, is like a fire shut up in my bones, and he couldn't hold it back. Apparently there were people in his day that were trying to not speak the name, because the pagans were probably saying his name, or he knew they would be, and it had power over them if someone knew their deity's name, but you have power, or the power that's in the name is the bond that you have with him. The spirit that was in those prophets has to be in the person that's receiving the words, or they won't understand them. Does that make any sense?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So if we have that same spirit in us, in order to understand the prophet that had the spirit in him, then we have something. We have communication and understanding, and we can boast in the fact that we know him. But if we don't have his spirit, we're going to try to figure out what his word means without his spirit, and we can't do it. He says,
no, it can't be done.
Not by power nor by might, but by my spirit, my ruach. The Hebrew word ruach is spirit, or wind, or breath.
A son esteems his father, and a servant his master. And if I am the father, where is my esteem? And if I am a master, where is my respect? Said Yahuah. And he also says here that you, to the priests he's talking to, these are the teachers who loathe my name. But you ask, in what way have we loathed your name? It says, you are presenting corrupt food on my altar. But you ask, in what way have we corrupted you? Because you say the table of Yahuah is scornful. And when you present the blind as a slaughtering, is it not evil? And when you present the lame and sick, is it not evil? Bring it then to your governor. Would he be pleased with you? Would he accept you favorably? Said Yahuah Sabaoth. And now entreat the face of BAAL to show favor to us. This has been done by your hands. Would he show favor to you? Said Yahuah Sabaoth. And there it says, then shall those who fear Yahuah speak to one another, and Yahuah will listen and hear, and a book of remembrance be written before him of those who fear Yahuah, and those who think upon his name. And they shall be mine, said Yahuah Sabaoth, on the day that I prepare a treasured possession. And I shall spare them as a man spares his own son who serves him. Then you shall again see the difference between the righteous and the wrong, between the one who serves Elohim and the one who does not serve him.
Yes,
I think we're about to see that right now. I think in time.
Yes, we are.
It's coming very quickly.
Yes, his name is very crucial, and his name was buried in the Dead Sea Scrolls, and it was discovered in 1947, and then hidden away by the Jesuits. And we're aware of why they were buried there. The name was written on the documents. So
well, they didn't destroy anything that had his name on it. They preserved it.
Right. Cave 4 had the greatest amount of treasure in there, in the sense of his name being on papers and contracts and scripture that they would not burn or throw away. They would just roll it up after copying it and put it in those jars, and it's just a wonderful discovery. It's the greatest archaeological discovery in history, the discovery of his name.
Yeah, that would definitely be.
And we're talking about his name. What does that mean if we're talking about his name?
Well, it kind of gives us a perspective of where we are in the stream of time, because Yahuah said that when you speak among yourselves of my name, then that's when he listens to us. He's hearing us. He's hearing his people that he's called out, his chosen ones, and he's writing that book of remembrance.
Yeah. So, in a way, we're conscious of this because we're reading his word and understanding it with his spirit, not in our flesh. We're not reading it in our flesh. We're reading it in his spirit, that he's in us, and he's taught us his name. That was the first thing he did with me. When I was about 34 years old, I read scripture for the first time. I picked it up, held it in my hand, opened it in the middle, and it flew open to the middle of the book, and it was YAHUSHA or Isaiah, chapter 53, and that was it. And then I went to the preface, and I saw they took his name out, and they admitted it, and I couldn't believe it. Right in the preface, open up your scriptures, people. Look in your translation and see why they claim they took his name out. Tradition.
Yeah.
It was
there.
tradition. Yeah. Anyway, we better wrap this up. It's already been about 20 minutes. So thank you, Dan, for being a dedicated servant and being willing to share your heart with this audience across the world.
Well, thank you, Lou, for inviting me.
Bye.